start that conversation, Bwana Makali.
You know, Fred, the first question you asked Senator Mongatana, he didn't answer it. What you're asking him is, in the current budget, 24-25 financial year, we have 6 billion, which is supposed to be spent on exams. And what the people in charge of exams are saying is that now they have not received a single cent. And they are saying in terms of their planning, the timing, when they should start printing of the papers up to the time you administer the exam, they are saying the times now are becoming a challenge. And that what they are saying is that might lead to interfering with the integrity of the exam, where we might not get, and you know, exam cheating in Kenya is a serious problem. So we are saying, they are saying how they wish that they got the money in good time so that they implement the process as planned. But this is not unique to the exams. And I think the question we're asking ourselves, we should be asking ourselves as Kenyans. And I think we should now get to a national conversation, because many times when you debate these things, we start thinking, we see them as if we are saying that because we are opposing what the government is doing. But the truth of the matter is, Fred, a budget is an intent. When you do a budget at the start of the year, you are saying, if things work as planned, I intend to have achieved 1, 2, 3. And it becomes a reality when you implement it. So long as you are not implementing the budget, it remains an intent. And I think that's the challenge we are facing. We have a budget which we do every year, but when it comes to actual implementation, and implementation is only possible when then you provide the cash, what we call the exchequer, for people to do the work. If you don't provide the exchequer, you have a problem. And you could see what the minister was saying, Honorable Mbande. We are facing serious, what I call liquidity challenge, that we don't have the money, we are not collecting enough to implement these things. And what the government is doing, because they don't have enough, then they have faced the challenge of prioritization in terms of where do we push the money? Do we push it to education? And you can see what has suffered most is the education sector, as you said. Look at capitation as a primary level. Look at capitation at secondary level. Look at capitation at the university level. The money is not being released. Yesterday they were talking about a school getting 87 shillings, and that school has students. So how do you imagine you have sent to a principal 87 shillings and you expect them to manage a school? It is an impossibility. So the question is, I think we need, and this is a question I was asking, because now we are in the budget making process, I was asking this question. Do we need to do another new budget for the coming financial year, or do we roll over what has not been implemented for this year to the next financial year? Because even though it was an intent, the truth of the matter, it has not been implemented. I don't think we have done 30% implementation of the budget. And we are in which month now? We are in May. Final. We are with only 1 month of implementation to 30th June. So in a situation where you have not implemented the current budget, and you are telling Kenyans to be taken through another budgeting process, does it make sense? And more likely it will not make any sense. Because what we should be doing is, can we isolate what has been implemented 100%, and what has not been implemented, roll it over to the next financial year? Because automatically these were priorities, either national priority or community priority at whatever level. And that is the challenge we have. And then coming to the second issue of the university education, Fred. You know, Fred, this means testing. I think as a country we need to think, what do we need to do? Because we are not getting it right. We have students who come to us and tell us, by the fact that I was sponsored by this organization and I went to this good school, when I indicated in my papers that I went to this school under sponsorship, the fact that I went to that school and that school seemed to be a high-level school, then puts me in a different band from the reality. And I think since we do means testing, even when we are trying to see which families need support, you know the safety nets in this country. Before we disperse the safety nets, there is always that means testing. You would actually, if you went to every village elder in this country, including where Mungatana comes from, they will be able to tell you in this village, the most disadvantaged families are family A, family B, family C. They are known. Yeah. So the question is, why do you need to subject a student to a computer means testing When they feel jailed, I can share that information all the way from the grassroots and say, Mugatana family, we know it, they are capable. They say Makali's family, we know they are capable. But this family needs support. So that on the basis of that, we have students being placed in the right place. And that's what now you see most students, the truth of the matter is, there are students who have not gone to the university because of that placement. They have been placed in band 4, they can't move. Initially, where me and the 3 of us here, we went to we used to help. Those days we used to call it, was it a boom or what? We used to call it a boom.
Boom.
So the thing is, when we went to the university, the system, even though it would disadvantage those the most needy because it's like we're getting the same amount, but at least there was a system which ensured nobody was left out. And that's why I said, one of the challenges the government, the regime, the Kenya Kwanza regime, is that when they came to start governing us, before doing what I'll call a situational analysis to find out where are the gaps, a number of things have been changed without proper needs assessment. And that's the challenge we have. Because our education system was working, we would have said, can we phase out this new funding model so that we don't really, but it just kept back. And then students out there suffering. I'm telling you, there are students who are always in our home saying, I need 40,000. And you look at our family and you say, this one can't afford, even if they wanted. Neither can you afford as a member of parliament. So what do? You have bursary from the government, but the truth of the matter is, you have 2,000 students. Do you give all the money to one student that the rest don't get? These are the issues. So can we get back to a situation where we say, medicine cannot cost the same as Bachelor of Arts. But there are students who go to medicine from rich families and they can afford. There are students who go to medicine from very poor families. And unless we are able to isolate that poor student, they will not be able to manage their courses.
All right.
May I say something there?
Yes.
About that 87 shillings that was sent to